Was this the right move to fire Stan Van Gundy after just 1 year?
No, Skip, I don't know. I'm trying to figure out, what did you learn about Stan Van Gundy in the 1 year of coaching that you didn't know? You watched him coach in Miami. You watched him coach in Orlando. He is what he is.
Detroit, yep.
Skip, he is what he is. So I don't know what you thought you were going to get. Skip, there's a saying in politics that says socialism works until you run out of other people's money. Now, David Griffin has spent $5 million to fire Alvin Gentry. He just spent $15 million to fire Stan Van Gundy. Now, there was an article earlier this year in which J.J. Redick said, players, don't y'all trust David Griffin? David Griffin is finding out. You know, since he's been away from Cleveland, he's taken his chances to take an opportunity to take shots at LeBron. But what we're starting to see, he's not as good as we actually thought when he don't have LeBron and Kyrie.
I will agree with that.
You know, he's about, well, LeBron, the way LeBron was trying to build a team, it won't work. It doesn't have longevity. Well, hell, you get an opportunity to build a team and it's not working because you fired 2 coaches in 2 years.
Yeah.
Skip, I get it. In today's game, you got to be a coach. You got to be a therapist. You got to be a gamer. You got to talk Fortnite. You got to talk Grand Theft Auto. You got to do all that kind of stuff.
Totally agree.
Because these players now, Skip, they on some other stuff.
Yep.
And so it's getting more and more like the old guard of coaches.
Agreed.
Is really maybe not resonating because we see, especially with a young team. Now, you see Steve Nash, he get veteran guys. You get young guys. Ty Lue, he got a veteran ball, you know, when he was with Cleveland. He had a veteran ball club. But when you get guys that are 21 and 20 and 22 years of age, Skip, it's a different. But I still don't believe you've seen enough from Stan Van Gundy in 1 year. He said, you know what? My best player is Zion. I need to find ways to get him the ball more, Skip. Hell, why not just give him the ball and say, you bring the ball up? Their problem is not, I don't think it was Stan Van Gundy. They don't want to play no defense. Zion don't want to play defense. Brandon Ingram don't want to play defense. I mean, you got a couple of guys. Bledsoe could play defense. Josh Hart, he got injury, plays defense. Lonzo plays defense. But for the most part, Skip, the offense, they ain't have no problem scoring. It's stopping the other team from scoring. But I don't believe 1 year was enough.
Okay. What did I tell you from the first day this was reported?
You said it wasn't the right hire.
Wrong guy, right place. Stan Van Gundy isn't just old school. He's like nerdy old school. And I kept describing him as this sort of naggy, whiny, I'm going to use an old school term, fuss budget, where he's just constantly just fingernails on your chalkboard in the locker room. Dwight Howard in Orlando used to make fun, do impressions of Stan. I get it that he knows basketball, but with these kids, I knew what was going to happen sooner than later. That Zion and Zoe and B.I. and Josh Hart and Jackson Hayes were just going to tune him out because it's not like he's trying to impose his will on you.
Right.
Because he's not that dominant of a personality. It wasn't like my way or the highway.
Right.
He's just nagging on you to try to do this and try to do that until you just tune him out. And Bledsoe in that one sideline huddle made a boneheaded play at the end of the game, and he just clearly, he wasn't even listening to what Stan was saying in the huddle. So I thought it was wrong from the start, and their body language told you wrong, 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 because that team at least should have been the 8th-spot playoff team.
Or at least to play in.
31 and 41?
Yeah.
And do you know how many leads this team blew?
Yeah, they blew.
Speaking of blown leads, it seemed like every other night, because I'm watching every game because it's must-see TV.
Right.
They're blowing another lead. They had no idea what they were doing in fourth quarters because he couldn't reach them. So it was a bad hire, which should reflect on David Griffin.
Yes.
So Woj yesterday, I saw it reported that they began to clash, David Griffin and Stan Van Gundy, because David Griffin is saying, I didn't really know him because I hadn't even met him until the interview process.
Okay.
Well, that's on you.
Yes.
Right?
But, Skip, that's normally how it works. I mean, most of the time when you hire somebody, you don't know them. That's the
but unless you had a relationship or you had worked with him somewhere.
Or you get a situation like Sean Marks and with Steve Nash, where they play together so they're familiar. Yeah. Okay, there's sometimes, Skip, you do get familiarity where a guy was in a situation, or Elton Brand. I'm sure Elton Brand and Doc Rivers had crossed paths at some point in time in their careers. Doc was played in this league, coached in this league for a number of years. Elton Brand was a player in this league. Elton Brand was Rookie of the Year, but an All-Star.
He was.
So I'm sure
I was there in Chicago when he was.
Yeah, so I'm sure they've crossed paths at some point in time. But, Skip, so why do you say that now? Well, I ain't really know him. So why'd you hire him? Just because you didn't have to hire him because you interviewed him, that makes you. I don't know if he knows this, Skip, but that makes David Griffin look even worse.
Totally agree. And Mrs. Benson, who's overseeing this, has got to start saying, well, wait a second. Did we get rid of the wrong guy? Or the
you spending the hell out of my money.
Right.
Ain't no repercussions.
Okay, so I'm a big Chauncey Billups fan.
Okay.
Know him, like him, believe in him. He's doing really strong, solid, good things.
Right.
A little bit behind the scenes under Ty Lue with the Clippers.
Telling the guys to put,
you know Chauncey from your Denver days.
Yeah.
I believe he could be a really good head coach in this league.
I do too.
So I would recommend him for this group of young players. I think he could work wonders with
I definitely believe you probably a guy that can relate to him, Skip, and you're probably going to have to, put the film study, you got to put it in the PlayStation and watch it on the big screen like that and give them game controllers or something like that. Because these kids are different these days, Skip.
But I think they would listen to Chauncey in ways they would never listen to Stan Van Gundy. And yet, in the end, is it possible New Orleans has a David Griffin problem?
Yes.
Because could Chauncey deal with David Griffin? Because you also have to play both games. You got to deal with the kids, but you got to deal with your superior. I
don't know, Skip. Another coach coming in, he's thinking about firing him. I think Miss Benson might get rid of him.
Maybe.
Because, Skip, at the end of the day, you remember that game? The Pelicans had a 3-point lead. The only thing you beat you is
That's what I was saying. This is the Eric Bledsoe game. Right?
But that was Zoe that got caught between the guys driving.
He got caught. Yeah.
And he kicks it to him, and then boom.
I know. I got it.
All right. Well, they got to figure something out there because, like you said, Shannon, a lot of that money is just going in the trash at this point.
Thank you for watching. You can subscribe here to get the latest from the show, and be sure to check out more of the best clips from Undisputed, or go watch a few other segments from our other shows on FS1.